Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Pisces. If Pisces is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so tonight we have the Four of Wands, which has everything to do with completion. Things coming to some kind of, well, maybe it's a conclusion or maybe it's the finish of one part of the project. Who knows? We're going to see though. We're going to see what the tea leaves are going to tell, what they want to tell us, what they're going to say. Can you tell I'm excited? All right, let's go ahead and take a look. Okay, so immediately this totally fits in with the vibes of the day. So we have a deer here. Look at this deer. We have the eye. We have the antlers. Yes. We have, and it is kind of just the face, half of the face. Here would be the nose, the eye, and then, you know, down here would be like the mouth, okay? So the stag, I mean, that's what it is. It's the stag. It's the male deer. Large, vibrant. What was I going to say? I was going to say virile. Virile, yes. You're full of life. If you can imagine on a really cold day, everything is so icy and crunchy when you walk on the ground. And as you breathe out, there's all that steam. Now, think of this beautiful deer. Powerful breathing, blood flowing, steam rising from the mouth. Imagine meeting this thing in some clearing somewhere, right? You're out on your walk, you're crunching around, and next thing you know, you're face to face with this big old deer, right? Be careful. Be careful. It is the first months of the cold season is, they're in ruts. So you have to be, they're very aggressive. But as far as the symbolism goes, right? The deer, especially the stag, is a indicator of really you are being approached by the universe, by the divine, right? This is that moment, a spiritual revelation, or at least, right, the veil is being lifted. Okay, so this is an awakening. You're going through, I would say, a pretty big paradigm shift in your personal life. The way that you view the world, the way that you experience the world, it has changed in these last few years, has it not? And so I feel you coming to this place where it's like, you know, we notice when our life is changing. We, you know, lose our job, we get another job, we meet somebody, we court, we get married, or, you know, partnership or whatever. These are noticeable changes, right? You can't, hopefully you can't miss them, right? But when it comes to the spiritual, it's not always like in the physical world, right? And not unlike dreams, we tend to dismiss their importance, right? When we see patterns, when symbols continue to show themselves, when, you know, we are having like prophetic dreams, but maybe we're not experiencing them as such, right? Thinking, oh yeah, that was a weird dream, huh? Well, dreams don't mean anything. Or do they? I don't know. I'm a huge devotee to the dream world, right? So I think that all of these things are important. All of them. The synchronicities, the patterns, the little sounds we hear at night. our little friends that live in the yard, our fairies and our jinn and our, well, all of the other species and races of intelligences that we commune with, if we know it or not. But then once in a while, something happens, right? Where you cannot ignore. This is a spiritual moment. Something is happening right now. Whenever I think of this, I think of the day that my mother passed away. I was 11 years old, and it was a Saturday morning. And I went up to go wake her up because we were going to start our day and, you know, whatever. And she had passed away in the night sometime. And I remember sitting on the stairs. I don't want to cry. I'm not going to cry here. I remember sitting on the stairs and having this moment while they were, you know, the people had come and they were working to try to do something. You know, obviously she had been gone for a while. So, but I was young and I didn't know. I didn't know what the heck was going on, really. And I was, you know, talking to God in that moment. Now, I wasn't raised with religion. I wasn't raised in any church. I wasn't, you know, spirituality, yes. Magic, yes. But in that moment, I was with God. And now it led me down a path of feeling forgotten. Really, you know, and now not all spiritual moments are positive. They don't always feel positive, okay? But that is the most profound one that I had, because I think it was like my opening, you know, walking into the beginning of my spirituality. Even if it was troubled, even if it didn't make sense to anybody else. But that was my initiation that day. The veil was not just lifted, it was ripped right off, right? And I feel like for you, now, I don't know that your spiritual revelation is going to be something so desperate and dire and devastating. Maybe not. You know, this might be that. Here's my other first moment, or well, maybe the most profound, actually. Seeing my daughter for the first time. I know. That's a cheesy one. But that's it. That changed everything, right? Life was never the same. It will never be the same. And, you know, maybe it is. Maybe it's that first moment. You see them look at you and they might have gas or something. You know, I swear they smiled at me. And, you know, so I don't know. But I know that this is a profound shift for you. And it's one that has been happening, right? Through the readings. I know that you Pisces have been really trying to reconstruct your life in a way that makes sense to you. Because I think you have been living so long waiting for something to happen, but also living, I think, the ideals of other people. And that's, you know, and not to say that you're a pushover, but I think that you are somebody that felt so strongly about honoring your family, your parents, your own desires. Even as they changed, you felt, you know, a loyalty to the vision that you once had for yourself. And that maybe wasn't something that continued to serve you well, but you were loyal to it. And so I feel you coming into this place in your life, and we have the number 33 up here. Actually, 333. Beautiful number. 333, one of my favorite angel numbers. Okay? For me, when I see 333, I know that there is healing happening. This is that number. Healing is happening. This is also, if you think of the 1 and the 2 as like the sun and the moon merging into the 3, which is the star, right? They give birth to the star. Yeah, this is the actualization of your goals. Okay? So I feel like you are so aware that this is your time. This is it, man. This is it. This is that time in your life where it's like, okay, I can sit here and be in a funk, worried about, okay, I've been living, you know, a life that was not suited for me all this while. Or I can say, hey, you know what? I tried really hard. I thought that's what was going to be right for me. Maybe it isn't anymore. And now I'm ready to find the next thing. I'm ready to open the door and walk into the next room. Let's see. Let's go. You know, and I feel that energy here. I feel that there is a motivation, an inspiration, a wanting, a desire, a hunger, Now, we have the large fish, you can see right here, okay? And we know the fish, it is very much tied into money, right? If you watch my readings, it's always money, money, money. It's also resources, but you know what? A lot of times, you know, having some kind of currency is is going to be the thing that pays for the food that you need, or the roof over your head, or whatever. But I do see also we have up here, it looks like a turtle. Okay, so we know going a little slow, taking your time, doing things right the first time, right? Not just kind of like going as fast as you can. Oh, I'm just gonna, you know, I'm thinking of like painting really fast. It's just like sloppy everywhere, you know? No, taking your time and building something lasting. Okay? But I do see you coming into this money, into this lifestyle that you have been working for. And maybe you've already gotten there, but finding another way to sustain it, right? Finding another way to, you know, have everything that you have worked for, everything that you have created for yourself. But maybe it's just not for you. Maybe it's like, you know, you make some money, you get your little house together, you know, you've been doing the same kind of work for the last 30 years and you don't want to retire doing the same thing. You're burnt out, you know, but this is how you pay the bills. So what do? You start to do like maybe a little side hustle, start looking if you can like do some night classes, figure out some kind of remote work, you know, whatever it is. I see you being very, very, well, I see you really, I mean, just succeeding to a degree that I don't think that you thought you were going to be able to. I feel like you're going to be really surprised as you take this kind of leap of faith. Now, we also have an eye right up here. You can see the eye. And we have, it looks like an angel who is standing over, which it looks like a heart. You can see here's the head, here are the arms, okay? And here's the heart. And then up here we do have the eye, okay? And it does. I feel like part of this has maybe been motivated, this change, this shift, by some kind of heartache. It feels pretty intense. It might be like a divorce, a separation, that kind of thing. But I don't know that it's just that. I think it's really, it feels like, I keep thinking it's almost like something has been going kind of awry with your maybe adult child, Maybe they've gotten themselves into some trouble, or you all are, you know, not communicating a lot. There's a lot of, it feels like a lot of hostility, and it feels like your heart is broken. You know, ultimately, that's what it feels like, a broken heart. But I think that it is something that has awoken you to the fact that you just are not, you're just not really happy with the way that you're living, right? The things that you're spending your time doing. And I think you also are just like acutely aware of your mortality. I mean, you know, it's hard not to be in the world that we're living in. It is so stressful, and there's so much going on all the time. And it feels so quick. And every day, it goes a little faster, right? And how could we not be aware of our mortality, right? And that is that we're getting older, that we're getting closer to that last day, right? But, you know, sometimes, and hopefully this is you, that feeling is what's going to light a fire, right? That's the feeling that's going to get you going. And so I see you really putting a lot of work into trying out some different ways of living. I know, it sounds like a lot. You know, the older I get, the more I think, ugh, starting over again, how could I? But you know what? We do what we have to do. We survive. And we build. And we thrive. And sometimes that gets broken down. Sometimes it doesn't work the way we wanted it to. Sometimes it's all working. And we get there and we think, yikes, this is not what I thought it was going to be. How did I end up here? You know? But then we get going again, right? We're not just going to lay down and, you know, dissolve into the ground. Not yet. If you're here listening, not yet. And so I see you really, really making some huge strides towards that life that you know that you want. That life that you know you deserve. This saying goes by so fast, you guys. It goes by so fast. And none of us know how long is it going to, you know, how long, right? It's wild. So we have to make the most of it, okay? All right, let's see. We're going to take a look over here. We have a person who is pointing towards the number 23. Now we had 333, so 333. We also have the number 23. We have the letter T. It looks like TT. T and a T. If that means anything to you. We have a squirrel. We have a heart. We have a candle. We have a bird. And we have a person again pointing. I feel like it's like such a message of like engage that frantic energy that you're feeling and putting it into something that you can communicate to the world. I know, easy, right? Do it. It's easy. I think that this is like, it's so much about expressing yourself, finding a way to share your voice. Okay? If it's painting a picture, if it's building a garden, if it's, you know, I immediately thought of doing demo for some reason. Like, yeah, getting a job where you can go, you know, demo people's old houses and stuff. Whatever it is, right? Finding something. I feel like you have such a desire to tell your story. And that's the big thing I keep hearing here, is I keep seeing lips and the shh, 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 like the Harpocrates kind of shh, shh, you know. But for you, there's like it's a yearning. It's like a vortex. It's getting bigger. It's like if you don't find some way, right, to speak your, well, and it doesn't have to be truth, whatever truth actually means, I don't know. But whatever you have to say, if you don't find a way to share that, you're going to get sucked down into that void. You're going to spend your life lamenting. So I think it is important for you to find some way to communicate yourself. All right, let's take a look. We're going to do real short here. I can go so long on these cards. We have the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, and I'm just going to pull like 3 of them. I want to see what this next few weeks is going to be like, okay? I know we're coming up into all these different holidays, busy times, lots of stuff going on, a lot of big feelings. A lot of, you know, I don't know, loneliness and just general melancholy for a lot of people. But, you know, I'm hoping and praying for each of us that we find a way to make it special for ourselves. You know, whatever holidays you do or don't celebrate doesn't matter. Okay? Even if you are like mine, I like to invent holidays or reasons to celebrate, or, you know, I'll hijack holidays and just apply my own meaning to them. Like a true coyote. All right, let's see. What are these going to tell us? What's the next few weeks going to be like? So we have patience. Yeah, this is a big time for patience, definitely. Enterprise. Yes, and I think so. You know, I can see you now. Maybe it is you're finding like work in a new company or something. But I feel like you're really kind of venturing out into your own thing. That's the big energy I feel here. Friendship. Okay, let's do like 3 more. Isolation. Impulsiveness. Yeah, that can happen when things are going well. Discrimination. Okay, let's get a little clarity on that. Speculation. Appreciation. Okay. So I feel like definitely the money. This is it. It's drawing you in. But also the need to really express yourself or do something. I think it's a little bit of everything. Or do something that feels meaningful to you. Right? Doing work that isn't just like the old, you know, the same old. Or even just something that you absolutely hate doing. You can't stand that you have to go to work every day. And you've been doing it for however many years, right? Finally, this is the day. I'm going to make the change. So, let's see. We also have friendship, exhalation, impulsiveness. Okay. So, I wonder if you will be going into, you know, working with somebody that you are friends with already. But it could possibly be that you find friendship in this new work. And I think that's maybe more likely here. Now, you are happy, right? I can feel the energy rising. But the impulsiveness. And this is what gets you, Pisces. I always say Pisces and Cancer, you all are very similar When you get onto something that you really like doing or you're really interested in, it's hard to pry you all away. The problem is when you really do like what you're doing, it's like, okay, let's add a little more fun on top. Let's add some more stuff that feels good. Let me also do that. And it can get a little out of control with Pisces. Now, I'm not trying to offend you. I myself know this well, as I am quite impulsive. But I do feel like there is, now we have the discrimination. The way that I read this card is to be discerning, okay? And yes, sometimes you have to kind of discriminate against the ideas that you have. Or well, we just had a great day. We made a lot of money today. We got some new clients. Why don't we go out and you know, have dinner and some drinks? Okay, cool. Go do that. Oh, why don't we just keep it going? Let's go out to the next place and then the next place, and then, you know, it's like super early in the next morning, right? So sometimes you have to say, all right, it's time to be a little more you know, thoughtful about my decision making here, and maybe, you know, really trying to temper self more than you usually would. Okay, be a little boring, right? Especially if you are starting out a new business or job, or even, you know, going back to school or whatever it is. Very boring. Be boring. Be boring. Invest your time into rest, keeping the house together, and keeping that job going, right? Now, appreciation and speculation, okay? So I feel like as things really are coming together, you are just in such a good place. I feel like you feel, well, like you've been given a gift, you know? I feel the gratitude, and that's so important. The gratitude is what makes things have that sweetness, right? Have you ever, like, I don't know, like, been able to throw your kid a party, or yourself a party, right? Like a birthday party, right? And, you know, maybe some years it's been real tight, and it's like, we're going to do the basics, you know, they'll be happy no matter what. And then you get that 1 year where it's like, okay, well, I did a little bit better this year. I'm going to put a little bit more into this. It's going to be great. You put all these expectations on it, and it's stressful, whatever you get in there. And you're just worried the whole time, right? You're not having fun. You're stressing about this, stressing about that. If you sprinkled some gratitude in there, it would be something that you could really enjoy, right? I've done this so many times. I always say this. The best times that I ever have are when it's barely planned. When it is something that you kind of stumble into, or find something that really, oh, this really worked out this way, you know? And I think that's what it is. Keeping it simple and keeping the gratitude, appreciation, right? That's that magical fairy dust. Okay, let's do our 3 lucky numbers. Oh, we're going 28. Number 28. Goodness, today it's going everywhere. 54. 28, 54, 17. 28, 54, 17. Okay, and then we're going to do the Mary Magdalene Oracle cards. And I'm just going to go ahead and flip through. I'm going to stop where it feels right. Okay, and it says the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, right? Alpha is the beginning, Omega is the end. The first will be the last, and the last will be the first. Every ending is a new beginning. There we go. Every ending is a new beginning. All right. Well, Pisces, I'm going to go ahead and tell you I love you because I do. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It's always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you'd like to leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. I read them all, and I love receiving all of the messages. I really do. All right. Again, I love you. Take care of yourself. We're going to talk in a few days. Good night, good night, good night.